Okay, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, July 19th, 2021. I would ask that you all please rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, we are here to recognize and express our thanks and appreciation to some bravery and some great training and some outstanding life-saving efforts that were undertaken in our community in the recent weeks. We are thankful that Batavia is so lucky to have a community with so many highly trained people that can respond and save a life, as apparently is evidenced with what happened tonight. We are very, very thankful for all the good efforts that are constantly done in Batavia through our city services, be it fire, police, paramedics, public works, city building department, city administration in general. Because we do, I feel, serve the community very, very well and try to respond to the needs and the emergencies of the citizens. As always we do, at this moment, we like to remember those from our community who are serving on foreign soil in defense of the liberties of the United States of America. And we just ask that a special blessing be shined on each and every one of these men and women and those from our country who are serving with them as they go about their vital missions. Tonight, the City Council is here to act on the items of business before us on our agenda. And I am certain that within their hearts and minds, each one is here to do what in their own mind is in the very best interest of the community of Batavia. And for that attitude, we are especially thankful. And finally, we want to remember those from our community who are sick and infirmed, and just ask that a special blessing of health and rehabilitation be showered on each and every one of them as we move forward. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Alderman Ajazi, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Miller.
Here.
Rosado.
Here.
Beck.
Here.
Knopp.
Here.
Chanzit.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Solfa.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Ayazi.
Here.
Malay.
Here.
Ewer.
Here.
Cerrone.
Here.
Vogelsinger.
Here.
All present, Mayor.
So we have 10 present in the building and 4 online. Okay, very good. All right, a reminder to everyone, if you're going to address the city council, we'd ask that you come up and use the podium, and please use the microphone, because this is being taped and will be shown on BATV several times over the next few weeks. And moving then to item number 4, items to be removed, added, or changed on the agenda. Alderman Chanzit, are you aware of anything?
Your Honor, I'm aware of none.
All right, anybody else have anything? All right, moving then to item number 6, which is presentation of tonight's consent agenda. Alderman Chanzit.
Your Honor, the consent agenda reads as follows. To accept and place on file the Historic Preservation Commission minutes of June 14th, 2021. Approvals. July 9th, 2021 payroll in the amount of $1,015,949.23. The accounts payable check register in the amount of $3,461,326.67. City Council minutes for July 6, 2021. Resolution 21-73-R executing a lease for an outdoor restaurant seating area at 11 North Batavia Avenue. Resolution 21-72-R, I'm authorizing execution of a contract with Peters Construction, Inc. for 2021 Public Works Garage Sewer Line Replacement. Resolution 21-75-R, Microsoft Enterprise Agreement Authorization. And Resolution 21-78-R, approving a change order to the contract with Electric Conduit Construction to build a fiber hut critical infrastructure communications node shelter at the Paramount substation for an amount not to exceed $26,699.99. Your Honor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second, Knopp.
Moved by Alderman Chanzit, second by Alderman Knopp for the approval of the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion on that? Clerk, please call the roll.
Chanzit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
All in favor.
Consent agenda is approved by a vote of 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Okay, moving to item number 7, matters from the public for items not on the agenda. Do we have anybody this evening? I don't see anybody raising their hand. Okay, moving to 8, which is a proclamation honoring the Batavia Park District staff and members of the Batavia Fire Department for their life-saving efforts. And I ask Chief Dykey if he would present this, please.
Good evening. We have a proclamation tonight for a life-saving effort that happened over at the Hall Quarry Beach. On July 9th, a young adult was pulled from the water at the Quarry Beach by the Park District lifeguards in an apparent near-drowning incident, and the fire department was quickly notified. And it was apparent that the victim had an incident in the water and needed to be rescued by the lifeguards. Upon arrival, the fire department paramedics administered advanced life support, treatment, and transported the victim to the hospital. The quick action of the Park District lifeguards and staff and the treatment by the fire department paramedics were instrumental in giving the person every chance to survive. As you can imagine, it's a very stressful situation for the lifeguards. You know, they train for that all the time out there to save people from the water, but you know, they don't get to do it firsthand all the time. And when they do have to do it, especially when there's a crowd out there and everything like that, it can be a very stressful thing. And we really commend them for what they did out there that day. So if I could invite the Park District employees to come up, please. We have a Rebecca Robinson, a Josh Costello, an Aaron O'Brien, Michael Schlitz, an Aubrey Overcash, an Eli Schieber, a Kyle O'Roney, and a Brody Osborne. And from the fire department, I believe I'm the only person from, Patrick Galloway is here from the fire department. Patrick, why don't you come on up?
Missing Brody Osborne. Yes. Somebody give it to him?
Patrick Galloway. Patrick?
Well, certainly on behalf of the city council, I just want to stand and commend each and every one of you for what you did. I've had a long-time association with the city. Before I was the mayor, I was on the fire department, rescue guy, I guess. And we've had calls at the quarry which we didn't say. So those are very, very sad days. We haven't had many, but we've had a few. And it's a very challenging situation. So I think those of us who have been around have full appreciation of the dangers and the issues that resolve themselves there. But what I'm very pleased with, thanks to the fire department and the police department and all those around us here, I think between what we bring to the scene and what you guys bring to the scene yourselves, we are about as well-trained as any swimming pool in the state of Illinois. And I think that's something the community can take great pride in, because we have thousands of people go through that quarry every year. And when you consider the fact that that's been down there as a swimming pool since 1920, we just had the 100th birthday of it earlier this year. That's 100 years, and, you know, the number of people who have died, it's not been that many, but as I say, over the years, we've lost a couple. We don't want to lose any, and with the good training that we now have,
So real quickly, I'll read the proclamation. A proclamation recognizing Park District employees Rebecca Robinson, Josh Costello, Aaron O'Brien, Michael Schlitz, Aubrey Overcash, Eli Schieber, Kyle Aroni, and Brody Osborne. And from the Batavia Fire Department, Battalion Chief Mark Sawinski, Lieutenant Robert Hogan, firefighter Christopher LaFleur, firefighter Noah Lorick, firefighter Adrian Zakiel, firefighter Ben Williams, paramedic Noah Fox, and paramedic Patrick Galloway, for actions taken in an effort to save a life. Whereas on July 9th, 2021, a successful rescue effort was conducted at Hall Quarry Beach in Batavia, Illinois, due to the exceptional efforts of the Park District staff and lifeguards and the personnel of the Batavia Fire Department. Whereas on the afternoon of Friday, July 9th, 2021, a successful rescue effort was conducted on an adult patron at the Hall Quarry Beach. The dedication and training of the Park District staff caused them to spring into swift life-saving action during the incident. Whereas the Batavia Fire Department arrived with paramedics and firefighters to further treat the person and eventually transport him to the hospital. And whereas all involved were truly instrumental in creating the life-saving links necessary to save the life. Now, therefore, it is proclaimed this 19th day of July 2021 by Jeffrey D. Schelke, Mayor of the City of Batavia, Illinois, that the citizens of Batavia express their sincere gratitude and warm appreciation to the response team for their efforts to assist a person in need. Congratulations.
Congratulations, thank you very much, really.
If y'all wouldn't mind real quick, just scoot together a little bit and then hold your folders down there and put your hands like that. Thank you.
Okay, item number 9 is, I have a letter of commendation to present to Anna Baker from the Batavia Environmental Commission, but I don't see Anna here. I'm not sure she's in town, so Anna has recently left the Environmental Commission, and she really has done some very innovative things in that work. Told me the reason she left is that she's got now a full-time job working for the DuPage Forest Reserve Commission, you know, a lot of their field work that's going on over there. So in the letter that I've written to her, I'm saying, "Dear Miss Baker, I am writing to thank you for your services on the Batavia Environmental Commission. Throughout your 4 years on the commission, you have contributed greatly to our community. Projects such as the Batavia High School Retention Basin Rehabilitation and the South Fabian Woods Restoration will provide benefits to Batavia citizens for many years to come. The time and efforts you provided in support of events such as the Battle of the Brush Pile and the Well Batavia Festival demonstrates your strong commitment to our community. You have served as a valuable resource on the commission, and you will be missed. Thank you again for your numerous contributions to Batavia. Sincerely, Jeffrey Schelke, Mayor." So we will see that she gets this, but I wanted to read it into the record. Okay, moving then to item number 10, which is a presentation tonight by Mr. Austin Dempsey about the coming Flags and Flannel event. Mr. Dempsey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. Thanks for giving me a chance to be here and talk about an incredible act to follow with those awesome Park District employees and firefighters. We are so blessed to be in a community where we've got first responders at all levels who just jumped to action, and I was just humbled and gracious to be part of the event today. Speaking of events, we've got a great event coming up here. The Fox Valley Patriotic Organizations, or FVPO's, third annual Flags and Flannel event, which is August 13th, right there on Awesome Water Street. Hopefully, some of you have had a chance to make the silent disco or the dueling piano event that's been out there and really seen Water Street in action. That is just such a phenomenal location for a venue, and the Patriotic Organization has determined to have their next venue their next event out there on that venue. So what is Flags and Flannel? What's our signature event? It's morphed over the years. Before it was an indoor event in March, and we managed to get our last one in directly before the governor shut down Illinois last time. So we were very fortunate on our luck there, and we hope we're just as fortunate this year with our first outdoor event under the stars. So we think it's going to be great. So we're presenting the Red, White, and Brews. We are going to have 7 of the best local breweries in the entire area coming down to Water Street to participate in a beer tasting that is, most of them have said they've never been in such area with such concentration of all their local competitors. So we're really excited to bring in these 7 awesome breweries. We are going to have a steak dinner. There will be a fish option, tons of food. It is going to be a very, very fun night. Ramblin' Ray Stevens, the radio personality, will be out and be our MC again. It'll be the second time that he did that, and for anybody who came last time, it was tremendously fun to have a radio personality there. Food is going to be delicious. John Hamill from Pal Joey's will be grilling the steaks, and there will be other food alternatives for those that don't want red meat, so we've got you covered there. And don't worry if you're not a beer drinker, because we will also have other drink options for the evening. So we are raising money. This will be a fundraiser event. It's completely open to the public. Anybody's welcome to come down. In order to participate in the beer tasting and steak dinner, you'll have to get a wristband, which means you'll have to have advanced participation. If you have any interest, you can go to our website, flagdaymonument.com, and check out our events page there, where you can register, sign up your friends, families, neighbors, closest relatives, and whoever else you want to come down and share a great night right in downtown Batavia on Water Street. So big thank you to the city, to everybody here present, because you guys were the ones who made closing of Water Street possible to create a designated outdoor recreation area where we've been able to have some really amazing events down there, and we're hoping that this will be another one that brings everybody from all parts of Batavia and the surrounding area right to the heart of our town, our downtown. Any questions?
Any questions? Well, I'd just like to join in and encourage everybody to come down and try to attend. It should be a memorable night on Water Street. So we never seem to miss a year where we don't try some new idea, and this is one of the big ones this time. So if somebody wants to buy a ticket, is there some information or some website that?
Yep, you can buy tickets and register at our website, flagdaymonument.com. There's also a Facebook event page out there, so if you're on social media, you can find us on Facebook or Instagram, but websites where you can go to get tickets, and again, that's flagdaymonument.com. And this fundraiser is raising money for the Flag Day Monument, which is the national caliber monument that we're looking to build right here in downtown Batavia with the city's amazing cooperation right out front of City Hall as part of kind of the municipal campus here. This project's been going on for a number of years at this point, and we're really delighted to be raising money for something that's going to truly be a legacy to honoring the flag, and Dr. Bernard Sagrand, who was a Batavia resident, and his participation in getting Flag Day an official U.S. holiday. And just as I stand here right now, I see 4 flags just in front of me and a ginormous one on the outside of the building, which is great. We take great pride here in Batavia for our participation in that, and I think this is going to be a real capstone monument that is going to, for generations, show Batavians kind of how important it is to maintain our patriotic legacy. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. Encourage everybody to come. I see in the audience, is Anna Baker now here with us? Yeah, I wrote.
Get a place to eat on a Monday night in Batavia.
Well, I've already.
Multiple places and everything.
Why don't you meet me up here at the podium for a second?
I'll just, everyone had to wait half an hour.
I've already read your letter to the city council. I'm here, unfortunately, but I just want to. Oh, don't worry about it. But we wanted to thank you and wish you the very best in the days ahead.
Thank you.
And Dave is a better place because of your environmental touches that other ways. So thank you for all you do and continue to do, and hopefully you will continue to do in the
Thank you. I am not gone yet. I'm still around for projects. I'm still a steward over at Fabian South, and then also still helping with the tree commission. So not
Thank you,
gone,
Anna.
just trying to find other avenues.
Right, good, good. Well, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank
Where's
you
the
guys.
whole world?
Sign, I thought about it, and it might just show up one day. if
Okay.
No one takes it. But that was on my mind too. Thank you. Sure.
Okay, moving back to item 11, which is approval of a Class G special use permit liquor license application for Bar Evolution for the 2021 Flags and Flannel event hosted by the Fox Valley Patriotic Organization to be held in the 0 to 99 block of South Water Street on Friday, August 13th, 2021.
I'm gonna step out for the next two, Mayor.
We have a motion by somebody?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Alderman Wood, second by Alderman Sofa for the approval of the special G permit. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf.
Aye.
Solfa. Barron.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck. Knopf.
Aye.
Chanzit.
Aye.
13 of 14.
Motion is approved by a vote of 13 yes, 1 abstention, so we have approved that one. Moving then to item number 12, which is Class F liquor license application for cocktails in the park to be hosted by the Batavia Main Street Organization to be held in Appleton Park, 100 North Island Avenue on July 31st, 2021.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Wolf, second by Alderman Sofa for the approval of the Class F liquor license for cocktails in the park on July 31st. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Solfa.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
To utilize when we have a lot of people downtown, take advantage of those audiences and get additional exposure throughout downtown. That's about all I have. Anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions of the Main Street Director? Thank you for coming down with all that good news.
Yeah, it's all good news. Thank you.
All right, item 14, this is a strange one on waiving of formal bids. Normally we say what bids we're waiving, but we're just throwing this out here. I've never
the
seen
next
this
item.
written like this.
Yeah, it's for the next item. It should have had a little bit more verbiage explaining what
Right,
bids we
okay.
were waiving, but it's for the Columbaria.
So are you saying we need to have a motion before we have I think we normally take the motion after we read the issue, don't we? Or we have to waive bids before we,
We waive the bids first, and then we approve the selected.
so we're waiving the bids on the combination columbarium for the West Side Cemetery? Is that what we're waiving the
Yes.
bids on? Everybody understand that? Somebody want to make that a motion? I know it's been the committee.
Yes, I'll make.
Moved by
Second.
Alderman Solfa, second by Alderman Rosado, that we waive formal bids on the columbarium for the West Side Cemetery. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Solfa.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron. Vogelsinger.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
Chanzit. Chanzit. Wolf.
Aye.
Aye.
Second call Chanzit.
He got it.
Aye.
14 in favor.
Motion for the waive formal bidding is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Okay, moving to 13, which is Resolution 21-076-R, authorizing purchase of an 80 niche combination columbarium from American Wilbert Vault Corporation for an amount not to exceed $60,000. Who's got this one?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Rosado?
This item is a carryover from the 2020 budget and started with a donation of $25,000 from one of our citizens of Batavia. And these monies were earmarked for the columbarium in the cemetery. We discussed this in detail at our last committee of the whole, and we're up for approval at City Council. Any discussion? Okay. I would make a motion that we approve Resolution 2176R, authorizing purchase of an 80-niche combination columbaria from American Wilbert Vault Company for an amount not to exceed $60,000.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Rosado, second by Alderman Miller for the approval of the Resolution 21-076-R for the columbarium to be put at the West Side Cemetery. I will note I've had some folks ask me exactly where is this going to be. I guess the best answer is it is immediately to the west of the baseball fields that are down there off of Merlot, and kind of north of Merlot and south of where there is currently any burials taking place. So it's kind of in an open area down there, and so we'll be putting that in. I've already had people call, ask about how much is it going to cost to get in, and et cetera, et cetera. So it wouldn't surprise me if this doesn't fill up relatively quick. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Yeah, when we discussed that at the committee, it's also set up the way they've got it laid out in the cemetery is that there will be expandable areas for this to grow in that.
That'll be nice.
Any other comments or questions? Clerk, call the roll then on the motion for the approval of the columbarium.
Rosado?
Aye.
Beck?
Aye.
Knopf?
Aye.
Chanzit?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
Solfa?
Aye.
Barron?
Aye.
Lehman?
Aye.
Ayazi?
Aye.
Malay?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
Vogelsinger?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
14 ayes.
Motion is approved, 14 yes, no nos, none absent. Okay, moving to 16, which is ordinance 21-34, authorizing the city of Batavia, Kane, and DuPage counties, Illinois, to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program. Who's got this one?
I have this, Your Honor, Alderman Saron. And it's an ordinance allowing us to approve getting a loan for $4 million. It's coming directly to City Council. We did not have a chance to talk about this in committee, but that's because of a time constraint and an opportunity here that we don't want to miss because it's a forgivable loan. So is Jeremy there or Gary to talk further about it?
I'm here, Alderman. Gary Holm.
Okay, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add, but it's pretty straightforward.
Thank you. Yeah, just to make it clear, it is intended to be a 100% full forgiveness. So this is, and someone might be asking why we're doing this. The loan is actually in support of the lead service removal program. So we have lead water services in town, primarily going to older residential structures. And through the state and the EPA, we hopefully will be receiving this funding to remove those lead water services and replace those lead water services with copper to obviously promote public health. So that's all.
I have a couple questions. One, does this completely eliminate the lead, or is there still some more out there?
So we have done our best to do public outreach and to send out surveys to the areas of town where lead services would be most likely to exist. I can't guarantee that every single lead service is resolved from this, because if someone didn't respond to the survey, but we've done our try and get them as many as we can under this loan forgiveness.
Okay. Program. Secondly, is there a scenario where the loan will not be forgiven?
So if that occurs, that'll change the program. We won't proceed. with $4 million worth of work. So really looking of a 100% forgivable loan.
Gotcha. Okay, did anyone else have any questions?
I will just say, just my compliments to Jeremy again for his communications campaign that went into getting all of this feedback and getting us in this good position to get the funding. I really appreciate it. Went through the process and it was easy and efficient and digital, and I can't wait to get that service line out of my house. So thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Bennett. Jeremy should really be commended. He's done a monumental effort, all the people in his division. Thank you for recognizing that. They have done an outstanding job.
It was awesome.
That's awesome. Anybody else?
Any other comments or questions? I just want to throw a little history note in here. In 1891 and 1892, Batavia tried to get the community to vote a tax on themselves to install a public water system. And it was repeatedly turned down. And then on January 10th, 1893, the East Side School burned to the ground and the kids were in the building, but fortunately all the kids got out. And when they went to a referendum shortly thereafter, the referendum passed like 95%. So that was the catalyst. We had to burn a school down, but we got people in Batavia to decide that they needed to put the water system in both sides of the community. And from what I'm told by talking to some of the guys who were over there working on Main Street this past year, were tearing out some of that original water system, some of them were of the opinion that some of that pipe was probably part of that first row of pipe that went in 1893. So this pipe that we're talking about taking out of here is like, 128 years of age now. So, I mean, it's really got some age to it, so it needs to come out. So I think this is wise, and I join everybody else in commending Jeremy and Gary and everybody in Public Works for trying to get this put together. And I think the whole story here is who gets their applications in first and who's the ones that can show that they got the council behind them and they're ready to go. And I guess we hopefully are pretty close to that, so I would certainly encourage us to do this. Anybody else?
I have a technical question. Does the pipe actually come out, or are they just going to lay new pipe and connect us to a new service line?
I don't have that answer. Gary, do you know that?
Yeah, most likely, if it has to be excavated, which most of them will be, we'll try and take out the old lead line. That again, I won't say it's 100%. Will happen one way or 100% will happen the other way. It all depends on the site conditions. We're not going to go digging after a lead line if it means, damaging something else, because the lead line can just remain in the ground.
I will tell you, having dealt with this problem several times in my many years here, in 1893, when they put those lines in the ground, they didn't really keep real good track of exactly where those lines were laid. And sometimes we find them, and sometimes we don't find them where the plans say they are. They're around the back someplace or something. So there's some missing components here, but we know when the pipe breaks, we got a leak. But so this will be good. We'll have it all on the computer, and for 100 years from now, they'll be able to find it knowing it's there. Whereas this time, some of this may be a guessing game to get out in some of these home services and find this pipe. It's not necessarily easy.
That's a very good point, Mayor. And Alderman, back to your question again, along the mayor's line, we're not going to go digging people's yards, trying to search for a service that may, wind to the left and wind to the right and, go around this thing. We will probably just install a brand new service at that point and abandon the old one. But if in the course of installing a new service, we happen to follow right along and the old service is right there, we can just take it out. That's what we will do. But we're not going to go completely tearing up someone's lawn in search of the old service. I hope that makes better sense.
Mm-hmm. Had some questions about people's gardens.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we won't do undue damage if we don't have to.
Wonderful.
And I'm sure we're going to do a little bit of that in this conversation as we do this. Anybody else? If not, the clerk call the roll then on the motion for the approval.
Well, I got to first make the motion, which I will do. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2134, authorizing the city of Batavia to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program.
Second.
Move by Alderman Sharon, second by Alderman Beck for the approval of the motion to apply for the borrowed funds from the Public Water Supply Program. Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosato,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopf,
Aye.
Chanzit,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
14 ayes.
Motion is approved, 14 yes, no no's, none absent. Okay, 17, the administrator's report. Laura?
I have just a kind of a quick report here this evening, a couple of community and economic development items and some things from Public Works as well. Work has begun on the asbestos remediation for 916 Park Street, and we anticipate that the demolition will occur sometime this week. Target has submitted for permits for additional renovations at their store on Randall Road, and changes will be made to facilitate pickup operations for their online ordering process. Revised plans have been received for the Winding Creek development on McKee Street, and these revisions include revisions to the annexation agreement, and those are all under staff review right now. The Plan Commission has some items on their agenda on Wednesday. That would be changes to the parking requirements in the zoning code, a conditional use for bed and breakfast hotel at 10 to 12 North River Street, and a yard setback variance at 600 Latham Street. And also discussion regarding revisions to the TIF grant programs will be on the Committee of the Whole agenda for July 27th. Water main replacement work is going on in Ward 1 as part of the larger stormwater project going on in that area. Menards engineers are working on a solution to facilitate construction of their new detention basin in support of their building expansion. The general contractor for the Paramount Electric substation has substantially completed all of the construction work, and the project is now in the testing and commissioning phase. And the annual roadway resurfacing and sidewalk projects have commenced constructions, and they'll be ongoing for the next few months. And that's all I had, unless somebody had questions for me about any particular project. Yes, Alderman Ewer?
I had a quick question on the stuff with Hitchcock.
Yes.
Is King County Forest Preserve involved at all? Are we communicating with them? Just because if one of the solutions is to remove the dam and kind of do nothing, then that is going to affect their properties.
We communicated with them early on in the project when we were getting stakeholder input into the process, but it's a point well taken, and we'll make sure that those communications continue.
Okay.
And thank you for reminding me that Hitchcock Design did get back to me and say that they would be ready to come back to a joint committee meeting, board and committee meeting, the first week in August. So I'll be sending out an email to you with recommendations about when we might possibly have that meeting. At this point, I'm not sure what agenda items we might have for a committee of the whole meeting. I guess the ideal scenario would be if we had a very light committee of the whole meeting agenda, that we would then maybe try to just have the joint meeting that night and hold on to those items until the following week. But if it turns out that we have to discuss some meatier issues on the Tuesday of that week, I'm wondering if people would be available that Thursday, because the first week in August, of course, Wednesday night will be another Plan Commission meeting on Wednesday night. So that would mean we would meet Thursday potentially as an extra meeting.
What was the date again?
Thursday, August 5th.
Yeah, I will not be in town.
Okay. All that week?
Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday, okay. Well, when I know better if we can have that on Tuesday night, I will let you know, but
Is-
nonetheless, I'll communicate in the next couple of
Is
days.
that first Tuesday, is that also the Park District Board meeting, or the monthly Park District Board meeting?
I don't believe
Sure.
so.
Okay, is it the second one then?
I want to say they meet the third Tuesday?
Okay. Because that would be the
I
other thing.
did look on their schedule to make sure that it wouldn't interfere with their regular meeting either.
Yeah, because if, we could always push our committee of the whole to 7:30 if there were things we needed to do, so that we'd have a good 90 minutes to,
Yeah, I think even 7:30 would be difficult, given the number of folks that we had come to the meeting last time. If they wanted to make a public comments, it would take some time to get through all of those public comments. So I'm hoping that it can be just the joint meeting that night.
Any other questions of Laura? Okay, committee reports, city services,
Yes, nothing to report at this time, Your Honor.
governmental services,
No report.
community development,
No report at this time, Your Honor.
public utilities,
No report, Your Honor.
no report. Okay, we have other business?
Yes, Mr. Mayor?
Sure, go ahead.
A couple quick questions as it relates to the One North Washington project. I'm curious on the pre-established dates in the RDA pertaining to this project. Is a vote not needed to allow Shodine to delay the July 13th deadline? And how might this particular delay impact future deadlines in the RDA?
Great question. So technically, under the redevelopment agreements, Shodine is in breach of that because they have not adhered to the timeline in that. And so where we are at right now are, we have provided them with a 3-week period of time and said that they should come back to a committee of the whole meeting in 2 weeks, which is probably August 2nd. Sure. Or the 3rd, whatever it is. But anyway, to come back to tell us where things stand with their financing. We have every right at this point to provide them with formal notice under the redevelopment agreements that we consider them to be in breach. This would be done by preparing a letter and sending it to the contact and at the address that is in the redevelopment agreements that describes notice. They then would have a period of time to cure that breach. In other words, get their financing in place and submit their application for their building permit. So that is an alternate avenue that I imagined that we would discuss at such time when the developer comes to us in 2 weeks to tell us whether they have the financing in place. But it's also an action that we could take now if council so chose.
Anything else, Alderman Lehman?
Yeah, I guess I wasn't part of those original discussions, although I had been listening to them, and it just felt like when they did not show up on July 13th with their end of the deal, that we just kind of were okay with that and just seeing if we were moving forward with just being okay with them doing whatever they wanted on their end.
Oh, absolutely not. I think that's why when we presented it to council, they were adamant that the developer needed to come in a couple of weeks and let us know where things stood. I think, the reason why they were having difficulty setting up the financing is because the cost structure of the deal changed with the drastic increase in the price for building materials. But now things have started to come back down a little bit more to normal. And so the bank requested revised cost information now that, in light of the current cost structure. So they've submitted that information. They just know that it takes the bank a couple of weeks to turn things around, unfortunately.
So when Shodine comes with the information they will have at hand in a couple of weeks, then the council will talk seriously about that information again.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess what I tried to ask for at our last committee meeting was that we have that answer, and I believe if we go the breach route and send them the legal notice on that they're in breach of contract, I think it's either 60 or 90 days that they have to remedy it. And I'd have to go back and read through there again, because I think that, to me, was a longer time frame than giving them 3 weeks to come back and say, we've got the financing secured, building permits will be in on this day, and move forward. Whereas if we do the legal remedy side of it, it may push the date out further and make it harder to get it done. That's my feeling. I'd have to go back and look through or have that answered by our legal department to let us know if that would make that date or possibly make that date longer. And have you, Laura, have you relayed that message back to Dave Patzelt that we want them here
Yes.
in first week of August?
In fact, I kind of, I talked to him right before I came to the meeting,
Okay.
and I knew that that was going to be the case, and I said, expect that,
Okay.
in 3 weeks' time, then we will be inviting you to come to a committee of the whole meeting to discuss the project overall.
I guess
and
I'd say
where
it'd be
things stand and-
more than inviting, demanding is what
Yeah.
I would like to
Yeah.
use the word.
He's very, he's happy to do that.
Right.
No,
And I think,
really.
we need to move that portion of it forward to know what the answer is.
Right.
Because if it isn't the answer that we want, that they have it set up, then I think we do have to do the breach of contract and move forward with that. Because if we don't, we lose another year on the TIF, and then what do we do?
Right.
Any other questions? Okay, going to the mayor's report very quickly. We've got some road projects that are kind of in the works that may be a little bit more time coming. Certainly, I think probably the biggest one in our face is up at the Route 31, North Batavia Avenue at Fabian. And that one is now under study by design, I guess, by the Illinois Department of Transportation, which has Batavia Avenue, Route 31, and the Kane County Division of Transportation, which has Fabian Parkway. So it is not a city project per se, but it's certainly in the city of Batavia. But the city is very, trying to work very closely with them. They're talking about some significant kind of redesign of that intersection to deal with some of the safety and accident issues we've had up there. And I think it's probably going to require, if nothing else, maybe some acquisition on their part of, no buildings or anything, but some of the Campana property right away there on the south end of their property bordering Fabian Parkway. They may need some of that for kind of straightening out a couple of the road situations that are there. Then our Congressman Underwood has put into her projects in Congress a project to come up, do phase 2 engineering on Main Street from Van Noordtreek out to Randall Road. And so Laura and I went down and had a meeting with our friends at Mooseheart and suggested to them that they need to kind of come to a reality as to where they would like to have the main entrance of their new property when it's ever developed. We're going to have the engineering done, and we're probably going to have a driveway going into the cornfield there if this is over with. So they need to decide where it is they're going to want to put this main road, which will take you all the way down probably to Mooseheart Roadway before it's over with on their property. But that's all in the design, and then certainly we want to meet with the Batavia School District and talk about any school accesses or routes going in and out of Batavia High School there, because that's another one. So, but that one is, again, early design, and I would suggest that could be 2-3 years away before that one becomes a reality. And the last one is that we did get, last year, we got a federal grant for, I think it's $1,850,000 to rebuild the intersection at Prairie and Wilson. And that would include widening out the intersection a little bit, putting in some turn bays, and most specifically, putting in a crossing gates on 2 legs of that intersection, southbound on Prairie and eastbound on Wilson, because that's where the train tracks cross there. And so that's all in the proposal, that would be part of the deal when that's done. again, we're in line waiting for federal money on that, and right now, as near as I can look at the flow of things in Chicago, I'm thinking that's probably gonna be 83, 84 before that one gets actually built, but some design work will be done out of here fairly quickly, so we'll know exactly if there's any right-of-way or anything else we have there, but I'm pleased that we do have that one in the plan, so to speak, and we're lined up for funding for it, because that is one that, they tell me, IDOT's told me that that particular crossing there may be one of the busiest, not very busy, but one of the railroad crossings that's on one of the busiest streets that's out there that doesn't have a gate on it. And so, we don't get maybe 1 train, 2 trains a day at the most, maybe 2 a week. But when they come, they do create a problem, and so by having the gate come in there, it would certainly serve it a lot better in safety perspective than it is now, so. Again, that one I would tell you is maybe a 3-year down the road, depending on some other project doesn't spend their money, or if we get the plans all done and the right-of-way all in, that can be moved up on the process depending on what else is happening, so. But it is in the mix, and so it will get done, but we just have to wait for it a couple of years. We've gotten a pretty good share of federal money here in the last few years, so we have to share with that, everybody else in the region, so that we have to wait our turn. So, that's kind of where we're at with that one. So no further business, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Wolf,
Second.
second by Alderman Rosado. Clerk, take a voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody online.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.